A while ago, I made a microbit game called KettleRun where you had to navigate a ship through a canyon just using the display on the microbit. I've made a version now for the Pomeranian scroll bit. This is the scroll bit. It comes with this rather fetching bear. And if I turn it on, let's switch it on, it should all spring to life. There we go, there's a scroll bit springing to life. It's counting down 3, 2, 1, and the canyon appears. And you control it by tilting. So your ship is the bright dot on the left. Oh, I didn't do very well there. So it says game over. It's going to tell me how many points I got. Oh, I got a high score. That's excellent because it's the first game. That's good to know I got a high score. My high score was only 10 points. So let's see if I can do a bit better this time. It's got an arrow pointing to show me that I press button A to play again. It will count down 3, 2, 1. And off we go. Right, so I have got to control my ship, which is the bright dot on the left, by tilting up and down to navigate through the canyon. And if I bump into rocks, basically I lose lives. And the lives are shown on the display at the top. The little bar graph goes down and you get a confused face when you die. And it says game over. Oh, I got another high score. Fantastic. How many points did I get this time? 36. Excellent. So let's have a look at how it works. So here's the MakeCode program. At the beginning, I've got an index variable here. Can't remember what that did. I wrote this days ago. It's a complete mystery to me now. And I've got a Boolean variable that says whether I'm alive or not. We'll use that later on. So at the moment, I'm not alive because the game hasn't started. So that's set to false. And it calls the function to initialize the game. Let's have a look what happens when we initialize the game. It sets the score to 0. Lives to 9. You could put any number you want in there you like to make the game a bit easier or harder. It shows a number on the screen, 3, 2, 1. That's where it does the countdown. Now the offset, this is where it puts the gap in your canyon, and what it does is it creates kind of an array of where the offset is. So it's got a list and it stores 16 variables that tell the program where the gap in the canyon is going to be, and puts that in an array to get your initial canyon. And it does it in a slightly clever way, rather than being completely random, to make sure you can always navigate through it and the game is fair. It shifts the offset of the canyon by a random number between -1 and +1, so it can go that way, it can go that way, or it can stay in the middle. And that's what it does. Ship row is a variable that stores where your ship is, the bright dot, has a little pause, and then it updates the display, and let's have a look at how the update display function works. Where is that? That's Revolut. It's got quite big. Here we go. So update display. Basically, it plots your ship where it knows your ship is, and it goes through the array, plotting all the canyon, where the canyon is. So you can see that, and it does a little test there to see that if your ship has basically crashed into a pixel that's lit, so if it's crashed into a pixel that's got canyon in it, it's going to take a life off you, and it's going to replot the bar graph on the microbit display of how many lives you've got left. And if your lives get to 0, then it sets alive to false. You get a little confused face, comes on the microbit display, and it gives you a message to say whether you've got a high score, or if not, just what your score is, and shows a left arrow on the display to prompt you to push button A to restart the game. The main gubbins of the game goes in the Revolut, and this is only running while you're alive. It goes through the array of where the canyon should be, and it chunks them along, it moves them along, it shuffles them all along, and resets the last position in the array. So it creates a new bit of canyon to shuffle along, again using this random offset. So it goes left, it goes right, or it stays in the middle. And this is where it also checks whether you've tilted it. So if it's very, very sensitive. So this is what makes the game quite challenging, I think. If it's tilted very, very slightly that way, it's going to move your ship up. And if you tilt it the other way, it's going to push your shift down by just calling a function to do that. And then it updates the display. And this is a sneaky bit as well. It does get faster. So the longer you stay alive, the faster the shuffling along will go. It gets very slightly faster each time. Anyway, if you've got a scroll bit, have a play with this game. See if you can improve it. I would love to know what you do with it to make it more fun.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.